Hello, my name is Delaney Bucker and I'm reporting from Tempe, Arizona. I am a current student at Arizona State University and started part of the ASU Millennium Fellows cohort. I am the co-founder of Envision, a student-led initiative to bring interdisciplinary learning to vision for both students on campus and low opportunity youth in our community. We do this by partnership with the various resources and areas that are available here at ASU and bring the students from around the community here to connect them with current ASU students. To give a little vision of what that looks like, here is one of the stickers that we hand out at the event, and we also have t-shirts and lots of swag to keep students motivated in that way, but among that, some rich learning opportunities that we really strive to be engaging to empower these students towards higher educational opportunities. Today, I will answer some of the questions that were given to me by the Millennium Fellowship for the post survey, and just a self-interview as to what I've gained through the Millennium Fellowship and what my project has benefited from and where it's going to go in the future. So the first question, what was the most beneficial change you saw in yourself personally thanks to the Millennium Fellowship experience? Upon first meeting that we had with the Millennium Fellows, I was surprised to see 29 other student campus leaders united together with me. Sometimes this feels like work that I'm doing alone. It feels like work that a lot of other students aren't interested in, or they have other things going on, and that is very true. Students have a lot of other things going on, but that really speaks volume to the students who are here trying to make change actively in their communities. And it's nice to know that although the 29 students have very different projects than mine, nonetheless they can come under the same umbrellas of the Sustainable Development Goals, at least fall into one of the 17 of those, or really just leaders who are leading with that empathy, having courage to take initiative and take that stance and move forward and make change in their direct communities, and really have that network that we are able to have within the greater Millennium Fellowship community. What I learned from this was to be vulnerable with these other student leaders. This project is not easy. My project is not. We've experienced many, many bumps along the way, but so have other students, so have other projects. And even though it's not inspiring to see somebody downfall, inspiring to feel it myself, but to know that other people are experiencing some of the same difficulties and that we can work through them together, even though our projects may be very different, is very, very uplifting. So showing those vulnerabilities, showing that, I got stuck here, how did you get through it? Really helped me along the way with these other 29 students that I was connected with through the Millennium Fellowship. Number 2, what are the 5 most important professional skills that you developed thanks to the Millennium Fellowship experience? Reflecting on these 5 skills, I will say I learned patience, collaboration, to reach out, organization, and listening. I'll dive into a little bit of each of these. With patience, 1 semester is very, very short time. My project was up and going before the Millennium Fellowship and will continue to go long after the Millennium Fellowship, but what was provided to me was some skills, some tangible resources, a network of community of people to help me along the way. And so with that came a lot of patience. It takes time. This is just 1 semester of experience that really elevated my skills, elevated my ability to do this, but nonetheless made me realize it's not going to happen overnight. I don't know if any of the 29 fellows in my community fully started and completed a project within this time, and that's okay, and that's not what it's about. This is not to just get something done in 1 semester and move on. It's something to develop, leverage the skills, and gain the resources to make us better leaders afterwards. Second skill, collaboration. 29 other student leaders. Why can't we work together? Yeah, we all have different projects. We're not working together directly on the same goals, sustainability development goals, or are we working on the same movement? But what we can do is use the skills and talents and knowledge of one another to move forward, to have that collaboration, to work together by those means. Third, reaching out. It kind of goes hand in hand with community. You're not always going to be the one. I personally am not going to be the one with all of the knowledge to fulfill my project, but I can reach out to others, count on my community, count on the people around me. To kind of go hand in hand with patience, I also learned organization, the importance of planning, having it set out. One of the activities that we did was a vision board, and that was really saying, big picture, where do we think that our project is going to go? And that made me realize there's a lot of planning to do. I have this vision, I have this dream, I have this goal, but how am I going to get there? Gotta plan. Lastly, I learned to listen, not only to the other community members, not only to other people, change makers who were around me, not only to my peers, but to my community itself. Often I found myself in a boat that I thought I knew how to fix the problem, when really it took me going out into the community, asking them, what can I give you to fix the problem, that actually came to a solution. And again, that's something that it's a solution is still actively being worked on, but nonetheless, I know that it's coming from the voice of the members of the population that I'm serving and not from myself. Question number 3. Describe one challenge in your student group or community project, how you applied something you learned from the Millennium Fellowship to the challenging situation, and how you approach future challenges in the future as a result. Like I just mentioned, the vision board was very helpful. I have this big idea, big goal of where I want to go, but it takes steps. It takes that planning to do it. One challenge that we faced was we had an event, we hosted it, and very few people showed up. This was pretty disheartening. But again, it just made me realize, what is that vision? What is that greater tangible event creation that we want to make, impact that we want to have, and how can we get there is keeping that end goal in mind. You know, we have the small goals along the way of we wanted this event to be a big success, but what we take from that is what we can learn to go into our next event to make it even better. Question number 4. What were your career goals before the Millennium Fellowship experience, and what are your career goals now? Did anything change, and if so, how? I would say my career goals didn't necessarily change as a result of the Millennium Fellowship, but they did become a little bit more defined, a little bit more tangible, and a little bit more understandable to me. I've always had, or recently, I guess, throughout my college experience, I definitely have been directed in realm of education, and particularly within global development, and how the two can go hand in hand. With more education, we can really have an impact in global development. I learned the Sustainable Development Goals for the first time through the Millennium Fellowship, and these are areas that, one, specifically goes towards education, but even beyond that, each of them are rooted in education. It's rooted in knowing the problem and sharing it with others, and getting them on board to move forward. So overall, my goals have just become more defined with the Millennium Fellowship. Number 5. For future students, what are 5 top reasons a student should become a Millennium Fellow? So one of my greatest appreciations from this Millennium Fellowship was the campus community. Beyond that, there's the national and international community. Those are amazing. Very, very few times in my college career will I be connected with people across the globe doing work similar to mine, if not very compatible to mine. Being able to have these resources moving forward, not only within the one semester I've been with them, but long term is very valuable. Thirdly, the collaboration. This is speaking to a little bit on one of the skills I learned earlier, but noticing that the people on my own campus are wanting to work with me. They're wanting to provide the resources that they can and that they will, and I can also help others. And that really goes to not only the campus community, but also the international community. So those 3 reasons why somebody should join all go hand in hand. Lastly, or the last 2 are the access to exclusive webinars and connections with world leaders. So not only is there peers across the globe who are doing amazing work, but we're connected with leaders across the globe who are doing amazing things at very, very high levels. Lastly, the guidance and training that I received on the Sustainable Development Goals was amazing. I really had little knowledge of this before I came into the program, and I'm very appreciative that I do know now. Especially wanting to go into global development, I think these are critical in my knowledge. I do see that my time is almost up, and I'm happy I've gotten through all the questions. But overall, that's been my short snippet of my experience with the Millennium Fellow Program, and thank you so much for what it's given me.